Hey, what's going on guys? Mark back here on Mark's Aquatics. On today's episode, we're going to be doing a little unboxing. Now, I had the postman come first thing this morning and deliver me a nice little box, which I have down here. And we have some fish in it. Now, remember we went to the shop on the last one and had a look to see if we could find some little pygmy cories, and I only managed to find 3. Well, I've just ordered another 10. So they're all in here. Let's pack them up. Let's unpack these little chaps and see what we've got. Nice big heavy polystyrene box. Wow, look at that. That is super thick, that lid. I do like these little boxes. That's how thick that is. That's perfect. Got a nice heat pack inside, which is still lovely and warm. And we got some newspaper on top of that. If I just tip the box forward a bit, I'll show you how thick the inside of that box is for insulation. Look at that. I'm going to put a link in the description down below, guys, where I got these from. Okay, later on. We can just lift that little box out of there. That is a very, very well insulated box. Right then, let's have a look at these little guys. Double bagged nicely as well. Just get my little knife and cut that bag, cut those ties off. And we can do a quick head count. If I tip the bag sideways and just have a look underneath, they've got some gravel in there as well. Can't quite see them in there. We'll ping that off and we'll roll this bag down now out of the way. It's always good, as soon as you get them, take that bag, unroll it. You don't know whether if they've had the oxygen in there or it's just air from the shop, because it was an overnight delivery, so it's probably just air in here. And then I can let them settle a minute. I'll just put them back in there and I'll go and get my all ready. Cup of coffee. It's got to be done. Bit nippy out here this morning. Right, let me put these little guys into this bowl. I think first things first, I better empty some of the water out because it's going to fill the bowl up, because I've put quite a lot in the bag actually. Right, that's that emptied out a bit. Let's put a bit of gravel in this bag as well. Making sure we've got them all out. They're all going to go nuts now. But that's what we've got. We've got lots of little baby, well, they're not actually babies, some of them are a bit smaller than others. We've got one bigger one. The 4 that we've got that we've got in the paludarium already. And if you can see them guys through there at the back or from the top. They've all settled in nicely. They're mature adults, those 4 in there, sorry. And a couple in here are a little bit smaller, but I'm sure we got a couple of adults in there as well. So I think what we'll do now is we'll start acclimating these guys. A little scoop now. I'm just going to take a little bit of a scoop of water out of this paludarium here that we made, and then we just add it very slowly to just a little bit at a time. Give it 20 minutes. Come back, repeat the process. I normally do this for about an hour. I know a lot of people don't do it for that long. Some people do it longer. but I've never had any hassle. I'm not sure what they've given me here. In fact, they've given me 2 extra fish. I'm not sure if they're lampreys. They look like female guppies, but they've got very, very turquoisey colour eye, which is very interesting. So I'm not sure what we're going to do with those guys, where we're going to put those. So that's what we're going to do now. We're going to shoot off for 20 minutes and I'll come back and I'll do it again, and then when you see me next we'll be putting them in, okay? I'll try and get you a close-up shot of these guys in the in there. I don't know if you can see them through there. You can see the when they decide to come around this side. I don't think you're going to see them that well. If you think you know what they are, drop me a message in the comment section below. I'll try and zoom in a bit closer on them for you. What do you think, guys? What do you think they are? Right, let's get back to adding these little chaps. Just slowly let some of the water from there go back in. There goes one. Two. I think that was 3. 4. 5. And the rest of them in one big go. Right, there you go, little chaps. Alright guys, so I thought I'd give you a little bit of information on these little chaps as well while we're at it. Got a lovely little shoal in there now, all coming into view there. Look at that, absolutely beautiful little fish, they really are. I'll just sort of put you on the small tripod a minute. It's still a bit skittish. Yeah, a little bit of information on temperature. They like about 72, 79 degrees Fahrenheit. That's 22 degrees, or well, between 22 and 26 degrees Celsius. pH of 6.4 to 7.4. And not forgetting, they only get to about 1 inch long, which is a very small catfish. They all look pretty similar when they're young. Here they come again. Very similar when they're young, but obviously as they get older, you can tell these because they got that black stripe running right the way down through the middle of them, and they look just like a normal cory, except just on a smaller scale. But I think they're absolutely fabulous little guys. They really are. Going up to the top there, gulping down some air. Now this is completely normal for them as well. They're one of the fish that actually do go up and take air from the surface. If you saw other fish doing that, you get a bit worried, but with these guys, it's completely normal and natural for them to do that as well. So don't get worried if you see them jumping around, gulping air from the surface. So that's not going to harm them at all. And off they go again. And here they come again. Very, very fun. They're a very fun little fish to watch, they really are. And they're going to love it in there, in amongst all this vegetation and rock work. Plenty of places to hide, dull light, like I said before. They don't like high bright lights. So if they need to hide away somewhere in amongst the Nubius or in amongst that dragonstone, they can do that. And they can go where they want, which will make them nice and easy and peaceful. And that's going to speed up that breeding process as well, if they're happy. Here they come again. Brilliant stuff. Yeah, the requirements of these guys, like you say, you want fine substrate in your tank, like you can see there in this tank, nice and fine. You don't want to be putting them in amongst gravel and stuff like that, because that actually wears down the barbels, and then they're not going to feed properly. So you make sure you put very fine. I mean, this is not as fine as it could have been. You can get that real powder sort of sand, which would have been even better for them, but this is of a high, sort of a grade which is not going to do them any harm, so they're not going to have to worry about that at all. And it's always good to keep them in groups. We've got 12 in there in total, and you'll find they'll be a lot more easy and a lot more less skittish if you keep them in a small school like this, because they'll have their safety in numbers, which they, as you can see, they're all racing around all in one big group. And like I say, they smaller fish tend to stick together in groups because of that added safety they get. When you keep them on their own, 2s and 3s, they're going to be a little bit skittish, or they'll hide it amongst your plants and you're never going to really see them. But they'll be out swimming around a lot more if you keep them in larger groups. And like, not with other catfish, you'll normally find them, they'll be rooting around in amongst the substrate, but also these guys will swim through the water column as well, mid-water. As you can sort of see them there, just hovering off the edge, off the bottom, sorry. But they will swim mid-water, and it's lovely watching them shoal up. Shrimps are they're good tank mates. I was going to get into tank mates as well. Anything small like this, obviously, it's going to get spooked very easily by bigger fish, or predated on by bigger fish, or bullied by bigger fish. So you're going to want them only very small, like tiny little, you know, small cichlids, very, very small dwarf cichlid family would be okay. Shrimps are fantastic because they'll coexist with them very well. Neons would be okay. Now what you can do with these guys, feeding them, you can feed them a lot of different stuff. You can feed them flake, you can feed them the old algae wafers as well, and they like a lot of more meatier foods as well, believe it or not. And so I say, catfish pellets, flake foods, the occasional algae pellet, I would say, because they've got very, very small mouths as well, don't forget, so you don't want to be putting big chunks in there. Keep it right down small if you can. And mosquito larvae is great as well, small mosquito larvae, copepods, bloodworms, stuff of that nature. Even brine shrimp, they'll have brine shrimps, you know, the smaller brine shrimps. If you want to hatch some brine shrimp out like we've done in other videos, then you can always feed them some of that as well. They'll go around and root around the bottom, and they'll root those out. And the good thing is about it in the koi room here is, next to the pond that you can hear in the background going constantly, is that I get a lot of black fly and mosquito larvae and stuff like that in amongst the pond, and obviously they're going to come out and they're going to be laying their eggs up in this as well. So anything that hatches in there, they're going to nail them pretty quick. So it's going to be a pretty good you know, source of food regularly going into the system to feed these guys. Live food's going to be going in there all the time on a regular basis, which is going to be really good. Now, breeding wise with these, the research that I've done is they're going to lay their eggs onto the glass, or maybe onto the leaves on the plants in the tanks, but they do say to remove them because they will eat the eggs. So as and when I do see eggs, obviously we've got the shrimp room we can take some of the eggs into, and we can hatch them out in there and bring them on later on. Obviously I'm not going to be able to get all of them because they might stick them to the rocks around the back, so there could be a few that will go unseen, maybe, or hopefully hatch, and that'll be interesting to see if they survive in there. Obviously we've got to feed them they're quite easy to breed, Corys, but they're it's the fry that they're the thing. They're quite hard to feed because they're so tiny, and after that egg sack's absorbed, you know, you've got to get really, really small food to pick them up and to feed them. So that could be a little bit of a hassle, but I'm sure we'll get over that. I've bred lots of different things in the past, and it's just interesting to pick a new species to breed and nailing it and getting everything right, and then you get the success, and then it's just a really nice feeling when you get it all going right and everything's working. Yeah, like I was just saying, a couple of things I found out about the shrimps as well. If you keep shrimp with these guys, and the eggs, and you miss a few eggs and the eggs are stuck on the glass or on the leaves, they will actually eat the dying eggs. So if they've got any mould on them or anything else, the shrimp will leave the good eggs alone, and they will eat the eggs that are off and going mouldy, which is a good little clean-up crew. So they're doing their jobs, which is fantastic. Got a right little gang of them in here now. It's brilliant to see. And give you a little zoom back there with their little home. I'm going to turn the lights off now and let them all settle in. Jack's coming in for a look to see what all the commotion's about. How are you doing, mate? Looking nice and healthy. Going to pick him up some bloodworms today, because he loves those. And there you go, they've all scarpered now in amongst the back in the rock there. They've all hidden away. So I think we'll end it on that little note there. Anyway guys, if you're new to the channel and you're enjoying these little videos, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell for up and coming videos, and you're not going to miss any more in the future. And thanks very much for all you guys that are still with the channel and sticking with it, giving me some of these amazing little comments and things. Really enjoying it, and I hope you're all well out there and you're having a nice day. Anyway, from me and the fish, I'm going to sign off. So as always, you're all stars, love you loads, take care, and I'll see you on Sunday for another episode of Mark's Aquatics. Bye for now.
Just me and my guitar.